What's going on, guys? Welcome to another video. So I have not touched this car since literally the last time you guys saw this car. I did a video on it, got coilovers, got wheels, slammed it, and I have not touched it since. So today I'm gonna touch this car. I touched it. There you go. Video's over. Have a good day. If you're new here, this is my E36 Vert. The reason I haven't really done anything with it, I just haven't had time, and also it doesn't really run that well. It only has 5 out of 6 cylinders. Cylinder 6 does not have any compression, so it's just basically been a nice driveway ornament. Now it does look really awesome. The fitment's really great, and I slammed this thing all the way down on the coilovers, and it actually sits on the tire. So right now I can't even move it. Now the car does run. It does run on 5 cylinders. I can drive it up and down the block. But today we're gonna actually make this thing movable, so I can actually move it in the garage and actually start working on it. So first thing we gotta do, we gotta roll these fenders because we gotta do it anyway. So I don't want to change the ride height. I like it. I think it looks perfect. That is exactly where I want it. Maybe even lower in the future, but that's perfect. And also the front is pretty perfect too. I may not roll the front. I might get away with that. I don't know. It might. We'll see. We'll see when I start the car, try to drive and see if I could turn the front wheels without too much rubbing. I might get away with the front, but the rear, it's literally sitting on the tire. So we're gonna roll the fenders. I have a Fender Roller. We're gonna get this thing up in the air. It should be pretty easy. I have not rolled fenders on E36s in a very, very long time. I'm talking years. The black E36 has custom fenders where, you know, they've been cut and shaped and everything, so they're nothing like this. So yeah, let's go ahead and put the car up in the air and start on the process. Also, if you guys remember me adding the adapters for the 5x114 wheels, I have found a solution for the lug bolts. We'll talk about that in a second. Look at that air fitment. Love to see it. All right, so first let's talk about these adapters. You guys saw this in the last video and how these lugs stick out just a hair too long. For example, here's a washer, right? I can't go flush over the thing. You can hear it hitting because it's sticks out just past that. Remember I said I was probably gonna have to cut them, but I thought it was weird because I test fitted them before and it didn't, you know, stick out. So I thought that was kind of weird. So let me show you what I figured out. This is a lug directly from the E36. You saw me just take it off, literally from the E36. This is the E90. On the E90 I did lug stud conversions, so I had these lugs in the garage. Look at these lugs. This is a lug from the E90. They look the same as the E36, except they're different heights, and they're very hard to see on camera, but you can see right there they are different heights. You see that? The E36 lugs, even though they're OEM, these are also OEM, and they even share the same part number. If you go on realoem.com and look at a bunch of part numbers, I did that. I had problems trying to figure out what was going on. They have the same exact part numbers, but I think later in years they manufactured them different, so they're actually shorter. So even if you put them upside down, you can see that the E36 lug bolt is slightly longer, and you can see right there where the head reaches. So when I used the E90 bolt, it didn't touch it. So now let's put the E90 bolt in here. Again, these are 25 mil spacers. E90, tight, take the washer, clearance. Does not clear the E36 lugs, but it clears the E90s. That's interesting. So watch this. That's the E90 one. This is another E36 one. So since I only have 20 of those lug bolts from the E90, I panicked a little bit because I plan on running those same adapters that I'm running on the convertible E36 on my drift car E36. So since I'm going to run adapters on both cars, I need more than 20 bolts. So as you can see, E36 bolts don't work. You have to use E90 ones. So I actually found, I was going to be on a hunt, you know, junkyards or something, to find a bunch of stock lug bolts from an E90 or newer, because like I said, it seems like they changed the manufacturing later in the years after E36. I don't know if E46 ones work. I don't know. I do know for sure E90 ones work, because you just saw that. So I actually went on Amazon and I found some aftermarket ones. So I got these from Amazon, and these two are also shorter than E36 ones. So here's an E36 one, there's an E90 one. As you can see, that one is also shorter. Same OEM spec, but they label them aftermarket. I don't remember the brand, but you can see same thing. So now we can put this, the aftermarket ones that I got from Amazon, directly into here, and this will also clear. So watch this. I'm doing it live, Take this, it clears. That clears. The E90 one clears. The E36 one does not. Now again, these are 25 millimeter adapters. I got these from Amazon also. I got them for the drift car, got them for the convertible to run 5x114. This is more cooler wheel options in 5x114. And I don't know the reliability of them yet. I do know some drifters that run them, so you know they've been beating the hell out of them too. So I will leave a description to the 25 millimeter adapters and these aftermarket things in the description if you want to try that. There are other options to run 5x114 adapters. There's a brand, cannot remember the brand. I will put it right here. I'm not associated with them. I don't have them, but they are 15 millimeter adapters, which is way smaller than 25, which gives you more options to run, you know, slightly wider wheels. And they actually come with their own bolts that will fit the 15 millimeter spacer, or adapter. So you don't have to cut any lug bolts. So they are a little bit pricier because you get your lug bolts with adapters, but if you only want to run 15 millimeter adapters versus running my 25, then there you go. So they do have like 20 mil adapters, but I don't know what lug bolts will fit that, because I'm not sure those aftermarket ones or E90 ones will clear 20 millimeters. I can't say for sure. I just know for sure for the 25 millimeters ones that you guys just saw, they work. So aftermarket ones from Amazon or E90 and newer should work. So anyways, let's roll the fenders, because that's actually what we're doing today. All right, so this is a Fender Roller. I borrowed this from a friend. It's an Eastwood. Eastwood is the good brand. They have knockoff brands. Don't use them because they break. So you have to get an Eastwood. You got to spend the big bucks if you want, you know, your fenders actually rolled. So I'm not going to roll it right now. Just going to kind of explain the process, because I think I'm about to make some adjustments because the car is lowered, which kind of, it sucks. Not because it's lowered, but it sucks because now I have to do more work because it is lowered. But basically, this would go on there and mount. You don't have to mount it perfectly. You can get like 3 or 4 bolts in there, whatever you do. I'm also going to have to loosen up the, I have to put the car in neutral so I can actually move the thing back and forth. But basically, you'll put it in there, do your little adjustments, all the knobs, kind of tilt it each and every single way, and basically you want it to lay right against your fender, and basically just go back and forth and roll your fenders. But for E36, it's not that simple. So first off, I turned the light on so you can actually see what's going on back here. You see how the fender sticks out from the actual fender wall, I guess you would call it. That is what we're trying to roll. We're trying to get this thing flat and flush with this, but you cannot just roll it just like that on an E36, because inside here, it's very hard to see. I don't know if you're gonna be able to see it, but inside here, there's actually like rubber. There's like a rubber grommet sealant thing, and you're gonna have to take like a flathead or something, and you're really gonna have to dig that out. So it's gonna take some finessing, and yeah, I'm about to go to town on this thing for a little bit. There's also a bunch of dirt in here if you can't see, but that's the thing a lot of people don't know about E36s when they go to roll the fenders. So they try to roll them, but that grommet is in there, so it doesn't really make it flat. It just rolls it over, so it doesn't give you any more clearance. So for E36s, you got to get that rubber grommet out first. So let me start scraping away at that. lucky, once you get one corner off, you can pull it out in one piece. If you're lucky. If not, we'll be doing this for a while. But hopefully I get lucky. I'm trying to get the first piece broken off. It starts off heavy on the back and kind of gets less and less, like in the middle. Like you can't even feel it on this side. I think it goes to, does it only go to here? I don't remember, it's been so long. I just know it's in here. I do know it's in here. And like I said, this is a stock car, so fenders have never been rolled. I definitely feel it on this side. See, there's like the first piece, very small, but you can see that rubber silicone-y type stuff. That's what's stuck in this fender and molded in this fender that we're trying to get out. I ain't got all day for this, man. Alright, I finally got a lot of the rubber out. I think majority of it, like 90%. Definitely enough to actually roll the fenders. There's a bunch everywhere. As like I said, didn't get lucky enough to pull it off in one or few pieces, but kind of expected that. I knew this part would take a long time, and it did. It took me over an hour. So I ended up charging this camera. Then I took a break and ate, and so now I'm back out here. So now it's actually time to actually start rolling the fenders. So here comes the fun part. Well, actually the fun part is now, told you guys this thing is too long to fit on here while this thing is lowered. So I'm going to have to remove this shock mount and lower it and then jack it up and then do that. So let me take this part off and hopefully I don't break anything because I hate messing with this thing so much. I hate taking these things off because they're so easy to strip, and once you strip them, it is a pain in the ass to fix. I had to do it before, don't want to do it again. Alright, finally got this thing set up how I want it, starting in the corner because that's the furthest, and then it's going to get tighter as you go this way, back and forth. So that is a good place right now. Like I said, you can kind of see it's kind of tight, and I can tighten it with this when I twist it. And but yeah, before we start, we're going to go ahead and heat these fenders up so they don't crack, because it will push a little bit, but mainly we're pushing the inside more than the outside. But either way, gotta heat the fenders up. All right, so it's tighter in here, definitely tighter in here, but it's not where I want it yet. You can see where it's, I can barely fit my fingers in here, so it's definitely flatter, but I think I can get it a little bit flatter than that. So this thing kind of bottomed out in terms of the tilting it this way. So I'm gonna add some more spacers on this thing so it comes out a little bit further, and that way I can make it a little bit tighter. So I'm gonna use these little rack spacer things. They're not rack spacers, but I don't know, they come with that, and I'm gonna put those on there too, so that way it can come out even more and do the same process. So All right, I'm not getting the exact results I want. I've definitely in the past had this thing completely flat against this thing, but I mean, it's really close. Again, I can't fit, I could barely fit my finger back here. So it is definitely tighter. You can see that's probably a good angle right there. It's definitely rolled and kind of flat, but I have had flatter in the past. But this thing is just, I think this thing is just old, and every time I try to twist it to where it's super tight and pushing against the fender how I want, it like pops a thread. And I could actually see right here, flip this around, I can actually see right here that some of these threads are actually starting to strip, you know, versus the regular threads. So this thing is just old and abused. Like I said, I borrowed it from a friend. And yeah, I have spaces on there, got the other spaces on there, so I don't know how much more I can do. This is already spaced out probably between this and that. It's probably like spaced out like 30 millimeters at this point. 30, that's bigger than a 5 mil. That's like 35. So 35 millimeters is already spaced out. And so yeah, but it is definitely results versus before. So I'm gonna go ahead and do the other side. I don't have to film it, same exact process, and I'm gonna get the best results I can, and then we will see if it does not sit on tire anymore. So hopefully not, and if it doesn't, then we will go for a drive. That is the plan for this video, actually go for a drive. I want to see what these coilovers feel like. All right, as you can see, it's kind of dark now. Had to hurry up and get everything back together, so I put all the lug bolts on there. All the E90 lug bolts that are good for the adapters. So all the adapters front and rear are now safe and how they should be. And after I rolled the fenders, it still sits dead on the tire. So this is almost like a pointless video. So I got nowhere, and like I said, it's dark now, so I really don't have time for anything else. I do have some camber arms in the garage, but I was saving that for the drift car, because my drift car still has stock arms, and I have like 2 degrees camber. I'm going to zero that out, so I was going to use those camber arms for that, but it looks like I'm going to have to use the camber arms for this. So I was trying not to do a bunch of camber on it, at least not yet, but yeah, I feel like these wheels don't really need a bunch of camber. The fitment's pretty spot on. I just needed that fender to roll in a little bit more, but like I said, with that Fender Roller, was kind of wasn't doing it. So I could try to drive it, but I don't even think it's going to move. So I don't know, let's see. It's either going to I don't know. That thing is, no, it's not gonna move. I'll try it just for video's sake. I'll try it. All right, before I can move this thing, I have to move this thing. I was driving it earlier, so that's why it's at the end of the driveway. So let me get this thing out of the way. Hey, remember this car? Yeah, I forgot about it too. That thing literally just sits there and does nothing. I might drive it next weekend, maybe. And if you notice, my drift car is not in the driveway. It's because it's getting painted. So stay tuned for that video. I think this video will be first and then that video, because they're kind of happening at the same time. Ha! I was looking for a clutch. There is no clutch. I forgot. It's automatic. Hopefully it starts. I haven't touched this thing in a while. No, battery's completely dead. Yeah, so it's loud as shit in here because the muffler's right there. The muffler's in the car with me, so I don't know why it's off, but that's how I got the car. This thing is mad annoying. I don't know what to do with it. Just see if it moves. So I'm gonna put it in drive. Oh, e-brake's up still. Oh, it's moving. All right, this actually might drive. All right, we are gonna. Oh, it's squeaking, but it's moving though. I'm gonna go ahead and take this down the neighborhood. Woo! Oh, it died. It died. Oh, it died in the middle of the street. Oh, it died in the middle of the street. No! Shit, I need my jump box. This thing died just in the middle of the street. least get halfway up the driveway. No, I'm gonna push it right here. It's actually not that heavy. All right, get in it real quick and just hold the brake. It's dark as hell, and I know I just look like a shadow right now, but I'm gonna drive this car down the street. So I'm gonna let this E36 charge that E36 in the middle of my driveway, halfway in the street, and we're gonna take this thing for a spin, because surprisingly, like I said, it moves. I just took my foot off the brake and it rolled on its own, under its own power. So it might not rub. I might get lucky, and I have the wheel turned right now, and it's actually not rubbing. Let me get the light, because y'all can't see nothing. It's dark and loud right now. I know my neighbors hate me, bruh. Both them cars loud. Oh, it's gonna die again. It's gonna die. Look, no, fuck. Yeah, battery's just too dead, man. I tried, guys. Alright, guys, I'm gonna stop pushing my luck. I'm gonna go ahead and jump this thing one more time to push it back in the driveway and call it a day. It was kind of a successful video. Like I said, I think it will actually drive like this, but I'm not exactly sure. I don't mind if it does rub a little bit. I just don't want it to rub hard to where like it blows a hole on my sidewall. So again, I didn't really get a chance, but it does seem like it will roll like this, so I'd love to give it a shot, but obviously can't do it today. Like I said, I have not touched this car since the last time you guys saw the car on the channel, which is, I think I did that video like 2 months ago. So yeah, haven't touched it, haven't started it. If I had my jump box, I'd leave my jump box on the charger, but again, that car isn't here. So I have to jump this thing one more time with my other loud car and then back it up in the driveway. So that's gonna do it for this video. Stop pushing my luck. I'm gonna try to drive it one day before I start filming again, just to see, and then maybe I might not have to put camber arms on it, because again, I'm trying to save my camber arms for the drift car, but if I got to get another set of camber arms, then it is what it is. They're not that expensive. So that's gonna do it for this video. Deuces. See you in the next one.